years of age. I'm talking about 2 years of age. So when you are watching on the screen, in fact, let me stop share, and then share it a little later, because let me address face to face with each one of you. So there was this little baby around 2 years of age who was very fond to go out every evening with Dadaji or maybe Nanaji for an evening stroll. And sometimes Dadaji or Nanaji, whosoever this gentleman was, sometimes used to buy some goodies to the child. So the child was very happy. So one day, Dadaji had some work, and he decided that he'll not be able to go. But he asked somebody in the family that, take this child out for a stroll. I mean, it's a good idea to take him out for a stroll, but I am very, very occupied. I'll not be able to go. And Dadaji handed over a 10 rupee note in the child's hand. Now, what happens is, mother says, Mummy, she says, baby, give me the 10 rupee note. I'm going to buy you something. Otherwise, it will drop down. And the child says, this is the power. Taakat to yahi hai. Right. And the child refuses to give. Papa says, give me the 10 rupees note. I'm going to buy you something. Otherwise, it will drop down somewhere. And the child says, no. And this child goes for the stroll. While coming back, one of the parent asked, do you want something? The child exactly knew the shop. Yeah, the child said, yeah. So the child started looking in the shop, right, and found, identified something, gave the currency note to the shopkeeper, and was very happy to come back. So now here it is that the children have all wisdom. They are intelligent enough. So to tell that, it's not a very good idea to talk about in case. So with 21st century, it's very, very important that if we don't tell, the children will definitely learn. The challenge is, if we tell them the right thing. If we don't tell, as adults, as parents, as teachers, they will learn. The problem is, we do not know that they will learn right or wrong. Right. So it's a good idea that we start telling them at the right age the right things. So this story about this monkey. So I'm just going to re-narrate that old story. So once upon a time, there was a monkey who lived on a tree, jamun tree, and the tree gave such delicious jamuns, and monkey loved it. One day, a crocodile came to just sleep under the tree. Monkey offered some jamuns to the crocodile, and crocodile just loved them. And every day, the crocodile started coming to eat jamuns. One day, the crocodile says, I have a wife at home. Oh, the monkey says, take some jamuns for your wife too. So the crocodile took the jamuns for his wife. And the wife ate the jamuns and said, oh my God, if the jamuns are so delicious, imagine the monkey who's eating it every day. The flesh would be so tasty, so delicious. I want to eat that monkey. Now the crocodile was surprised. He said, no, I can't tell that monkey that we want to feast on you. That will be bad. But the wife, she said, she felt sick. She probably pretended to fall sick, and she said, the doctor has said I can only be fine when I eat the heart of the monkey. Crocodile had no option. He went and he said, come on, monkey, I want you to, you've been my friend, you've been feasting me on jamuns. Come, let me take you around the river. You cannot swim. And monkey believed. Now, what happened over here is, monkey said, as in between the river, the crocodile started sinking, and monkey was scared. What happened? Oh, the crocodile said, I'm very sorry. My wife, she really wants to eat your heart because your heart seems to be so delicious. So what did monkey say? Oh, you didn't tell me earlier. Come on. You would have told me when you were picking me up. I left my heart on the tree. Come on very quickly. Take me back. I'm going to bring my heart. And the crocodile was very happy. He'll not lose the friendship, and he'll give the heart to his wife. Now, this story is something very interesting over here. Intelligent investment. Now, this is a very, very important story for me personally also, to tell the children. Friendship is okay, but they cannot blindly trust anybody. So when I use the word intelligent investment, it is in your knowledge, it is building on self, right? I'm going to re-narrate the story the financial way, but it is very important to be a well-read person, a person who knows how to come out of a problems situation. So it's a life skill: problem solving and critical thinking and decision making, right? So it's a problem solving over here, and it's an intelligent investment to make in your thought process. So thinking classes are the best classes. Now let me narrate this story. The Okay, Anjali Jain ma'am says after integration of the story, yeah, please confirm the presentation medium. I mean, okay, you can normally narrate. I'll tell it right now. You normally narrate because children do have stories in their books. Otherwise, you can bring in story elements, and you can either bring up, I mean, this kind of a presentation. You can show them on a smart board if you have. You can ask the children to have props. Once you've read a story to the child, because we are talking about ages 3 to 10, you can ask them to role play or enact. So there are multiple ways to do it. Right. Now, let me re-narrate this story the financial way, the financial literacy way. Right. So again, once upon a time, there was a monkey who used to live on a jamun tree. And the monkey was very, monkey used to study regularly. Monkey was aware what is happening in the world. Right. Monkey was aware that people are not, I mean, they invest for their future. Monkey was pretty aware of things. And Monkey was very happy reading, getting informed, getting updated, getting upskilled, building capacity, getting ready for future. One day, the crocodile came. And Monkey offered some jamuns. Monkey also gave the crocodile some advice. But the crocodile was only interested in jamuns and nothing else, and probably just resting it. Right. That is why the crocodile came over there. So one day, when the jamuns were taken back home, obviously the wife would never even tread out and come out to take rest, was always lying back at home. So, how much information would have been there? So, to take information, one has to actually be able to move around, go, get some information. So, the same story happened. So now, when monkey sat behind, I mean, on the crocodile, and the crocodile started sinking inside the water, monkey asked, and immediately the intellect worked. Monkey said, I have my heart there on the tree. And monkey could save himself. Now, what is there in this story? It is something like when you save with your own intelligence, you exactly know what you're going to get out of it. But when you save because somebody else has told you, you don't know what is going to happen. So that is why there is a different. I mean, this story goes further ahead. I have grown this story also for children up to teenagers, where we talk about interest and we talk about compounding of interest. Once the discussion has been done on this story, I'll definitely give you a story about the interest and the compound interest leading to it. Right. So how do you like it? So it's very important to be a well-read investor. You don't just listen and you don't just invest. So I'm done with it, sir. To you.
Yeah,
And I,
Sapna ma'am, great. So now, the interesting part, like ma'am mentioned to you, that she has different angles of the story for different age groups. That is the beauty of such stories because, as you go in the higher classes, you'll realize that the most of the children would be knowing the original story. But they're very fascinated when you adapt them to something to their relevance. And so, like you mentioned here, what I had in mind, of course, I was very happy to see that people were saying, well, the Jamun business can begin and other things like that. For me, what this story
even I read it, sir. Yeah.
for me, when we were preparing this entire program, so I picked up this story to tell one thing that fine, of course, it's an incomplete story. Teachers can help out and pick it up and develop it. So the monkey earns a lot of money, and the crocodile knows that the monkey earns a lot of money, and the monkey at times gives the money to the crocodile also. And the crocodile goes and gives it to his wife. So someone even mentioned, let's not call it a female crocodile, let's call it the wife. Fine.
Okay.
So then, when the crocodile gives the money to his wife, one day the wife says, oh, he earns so much, so why don't you get him here? She wants to kill him and take all the money. And that's what the crocodile convinces monkey to come along with him. So again, he's on the crocodile's back and he's going, and the crocodile, sheer out of innocence, tells him, actually, my wife has called you over because she wants to extract all the money from you.
Absolutely.
The money says, oh, you wanted the money. Why didn't you tell me first? I don't keep the money with me. I keep it in a bank. So this is
Absolutely.
what we are bringing the concept of financial literacy here. So let me go back to the bank and withdraw the money for you. So now this is what can happen with stories. So I know that a lot of principals, like when I was seeing, oh, we've nominated a commerce teacher and an art teacher. So then I have to tell them it is not only financial, it is not commerce. We're looking at from class 1 to class 12, in fact, below class 1 also. So
Yes.
it's not necessarily the economics and the business studies department who has to do financial literacy. It can be in any grade, anywhere. So that is a very interesting part of it. It's all how you take it up. And what we are going to work with every school is about all the stories that you collect. Means I've discussed with the principals earlier, but of course I'm going to discuss with them again. We supposing a school does very good work in grade 3. You've got 6 stories in grade 3 and so many more things that way. So great. We'll take out a booklet of your school for grade 3. We'll take out a separate booklet of your school for grade 4. We'll do a lot of work with you to develop those things. And a lot of people will say, what about funds? Well, either put in a book list, or I always tell people, get your school banker to fund it. He would be more than happy to do it for you. So, these things are complications to come later on. But right now, have fun into reading the story, seeing what is there in an existing text. So, say, supposing you have an English text, whichever you're following, maybe NCRT or private publisher, have a look at all the stories there, have a look at the learning outcome objectives. Now, let's explore, can you incorporate financial literacy in them? Because that is already with you. So, teachers, what happens that not many people will be highly creative, but what is there in your hand to change it or adapt to it, it can happen faster. And very good, because so much more is going to come up here with so many more people. So you'll get different, maybe
So,
the
I
resource.
have something very interesting. I'm sure this is going to really, yes, sir. Okay. I would like to ask everyone, what would you like to choose between? I mean, if I offer or somebody else offers, or maybe sir is talking about bankers. So if a banker says that you take 1 crore today, or you take 2 rupees today, 1 rupee, or you take 1 rupee, okay, 1 crore and 1 rupee. But what will you choose? Let us have some answers. A banker says you take 1 crore today, or you take 1 rupee for next 1 month. What will you choose?
Everyone would say 1 crore for sure.
1 crore? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to, okay. So okay. So meanwhile, people have already started thinking about 1 crore. Let me just bring a twist to this. So would you like to take 1 crore today, or 1 rupee, which gets doubled up each day for 30 days? What would you choose now? Okay. Think again. Last chance. Would you choose 1 crore today, 1 crore rupees today, or 1 rupee, which gets doubled up for next 30 days? Okay, now people have started thinking always 1 rupee. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. So I gave you the calculation, and this is the homework for each one of us present over here. And each one of us must do a calculation and try and see what happens. So 1 crore is not a less money, no doubt about it. It can bring huge things to us. But if you get 1 rupee, and that 1 rupee keeps getting doubled up every single day, after 30 days, it will be 53 crores. And that is compound interest. That is power of compounding in it, and it happens in real world. I've mentioned such examples in the books of financial literacy, which I write. Sir knows it. It is 53 crore rupees. Anita ma'am, multiply it again. 1 rupee doubled up, not 107. It will be 53 crores. So that is great. So never go for an offer. Think, calculate. That's very important. So thank you so much, Sandeep sir.
But someone will be very wise and tell you that, ma'am, give me 1 crore. Achha, you're giving the option only if you take 1 rupee to double. Otherwise, you'll have doubled up that 1 crore also. Anyway, that's right. Great. Yeah.
Oh God, 1 crore getting doubled up would be like not,
Yes,
I
yes,
mean, the
something
trillion
huge. Yeah.
crore or something, it'll go up like that.
So, teachers and colleagues and friends,
Prabjeet
uh,
Kaur ma'am has already calculated it. It's an
yeah, yeah,
enormous amount. She gives the exact figure 53 crores, 68,000 lakhs, 70,000, and she gives exact figure over
yeah.
there. Great.
So, teachers, one question also come up about the presentation. So, one is the presentation of what you're doing in the class. You can do it a puppet show, you can do a script out of it, you can do a skit out of it. So as the cities who are having the festivals, we are also motivating them to have 4 cultural events non-competitive. That is a dance on financial literacy, a skit on financial literacy, a storytelling session on financial literacy, and a song on financial literacy. So, of course, we are going to have sessions for you on that also, because it will open up your mind that how can we do that. So, even we had discussed with by taking Premchand's stories and having a skit on that, but changing the end. Or you show the same story and you stop it at like before the end and tell them what would it be if this had happened. So you change the end and bring it across. So that makes it very participative for everyone to understand what else is happening there. Fine. So presentation in PPT form, graphic novel form, any form which you think is very good for you, and you having the skills for that. We will be having some sessions for you to develop more skills, but it's going to be all your game. It's your product, your school, your students. And when the cultural festivals are happening, it'll be great fun to see everyone do so much more. Great. Continue, Sapna, ma'am. Right.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so I mean, we can go on story over story. Now, this is story of a dove and an ant. I directly bring the story
Okay, just
element.
Anju ma'am has asked, are we going to get a certificate for this meeting? Ma'am, the meeting is not for a certificate, it's a whole festival. So you're
Yeah.
going to have 15 sessions. So your school knows you've attended that session. I think that is what will happen here. But of course, the people who reach the festival, we'll be seeing how to acknowledge them. So, yeah, there's a second question also coming to get a certificate, e-certificate for. We've not yet decided, but coming a certificate coming from an organization like City Palace, I do not know whether it'll have much validity because there has to be some good organization, maybe CBS or NCRT. But if your school principal tells us to do something, we would definitely collaborate with him. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So now this time, I mean, rather than me telling the story, let's start putting what is the idea. So this the objective. The objective means the financial literacy elements are wise spending. Correct. So can somebody tell me what is the idea behind this story? What happens over here? So this is the dove and the ant. Recall that story. This ant was it started flowing in the running water. The river was flowing. The dove was actually carrying the leaf for the nest, but then saw the ant and dropped the leaf at the right point, and ant could save itself. And then one fine day, the hunters came and they were about to just aim when a little ant, nobody could have even thought, when a little ant actually bit the hunter and the aim got missed and the dove was saved. So this is the story which everybody remembers. Now, what could be a financial literacy idea? Let us see in the chat box rather than me telling. So let's figure it out. What comes to the minds of the audience over here, the participants over here? What could be the idea when we think about and the objectives, the elements I've given? If you have a different element, we are more than happy with it. So again, it's an investment, right? It's we can focus on savings, focus on okay relationship investments. That's okay, but then yeah, the idea over here is right. When you see others in trouble, you do help them, but we also understand that it is very important to. So you've spent the dove had spent the savings to save the other, but what had happened? It came back with a big interest to save the life, isn't it? So that is the idea. What is the plot over here? The plot is first the river. That is a setting I'm talking about. Right. There's a river, a tree, sort of a jungle, then an invisible hunter. Right. And the dove getting aimed at, but then the hunter could not. Correct? Yeah, invest wisely. That's very nice. A penny saved is penny earned. A penny invested in the right thing is penny earned. If we don't invest it rightly, it will not be earned. Remember, from ever since I started the session, I've been saying we don't invest because others are doing it. We invest because we want to do it. Correct. Because somebody else earned, we will earn. No, that is not the investment market. That is not the savings way. Because anybody is doing an FD, so I also do an FD. No, maybe you require something else. Your needs are different. Your wants are different. Your plannings are different. That is very, very important. Who are the characters over here? The ant and the dove and the hunter, of course. The problem over here is, the ant would have died, and the second time the dove would have got shot. What is the solution? The solution is not the dove saving the ant or the ant saving the dove. The solution over here is the right investment and the right spending. So money is to be kept invested safe, but when it is required to be spent, it has to be spent with a lot of wisdom, and that has to be done in time. We cannot regret, oh, I wish we could have done this at that point of time. The regret will actually uh, stay forever with us. So that regret should not come to us. So it's a very, very important thought which comes. So if you have to spend, you have to spend wisely and at the right time. So I'm sure this particular story. So I'm open to the questions in the chat box. Right. Before I hand it over to Sandeep sir to talk about this, I have something very interesting for you over here. Please read this quote very carefully. You can even keep, meanwhile, it comes to you. I keep talking to you a little bit because it takes 7 second lag is over there. Yeah. So the cost of financial illiteracy is very high. Invest in your student. You can even see children over here as parents. Invest in your children's future with financial literacy education. And probably that is the thought why this festival is being organized, to bring a lot of perspectives, bring a lot of thought and ideas to all of us. Sandeep sir, I'm handing it over to you for
Yeah,
this.
so Prabjit Kaur ma'am, like you mentioned, the problem here will be the ant faces drowning, which can be seen as a financial emergency or unexpected expense. You know what is interesting? What you've written here, I can visualize it as a poster. So I'm
Yeah.
relating it to the textbook which we made at CBSE for the entrepreneurship subject. The 11th standard grade has a ship, not a sailing boat, in fact, with a couple on that, and all the adversities of business coming up in the water waves. So that poster is beautiful. And the 12th standard poster is about a kumhar, a potter, sitting and making pots, and all the concepts of entrepreneurship coming up there. So what Prabhijit ma'am has just mentioned, what I can see it as a poster form. So so just make a poster of that and let people give the comments as to what do they see in that. But that would be so interesting because you can see financial emergencies, unexpected expenses, so much more. So that is the beauty of these things, that it's endless. So if you really make a 3D poster or a 2D one or a simple one, less like that, and you look at it and read out the story of this ant and the dove, and then ask the children, now come on, you tell me what can happen, and you will collect so much of information coming from there, because the whole process what we are doing in the festival is allowing the children to think. So when they are allowed to think, you give this story and make a poster of that and put it there and tell them to comment and think. Then there'll be so much of fun. And that collection of their thoughts of how to change the end is actually making them, means something much, much, much beyond that. And I can assure you one thing: when you do such an activity, even if you've thought of 3 or 4 points, they will come up with 10 more, because unfortunately, we don't allow our children to think. This would be a very interesting way of allowing the children to think, and so many basics being added onto it. So, teachers, I'm about to end this session. So, Sapna ma'am, thank you so much,
Thanks, sir.
because we had to have a good start for this creative sessions. And teachers and colleagues, creativity is not something, I think, which can be taught. It can just be experienced. So you hear something from here, you hear something from there, you have some thoughts in your mind, and that is what you bring up on paper. So this is the way we'll begin. And one teacher asked that, what about the feedback form? I know we are not very formal that way, like a feedback form and things like that. We believe that, of course, you have to convey to your principal of what happened, what you felt like. I get the feedback from the principals. So normally I ask the principals to give me a feedback after the session, after they've collected the feedback from you all. So we collect that and we definitely need it. But then that is how means it's your perception also. And we open to a lot of criticism where you can tell us that if you could do this, this could be better. We are very happy taking that comment. We obviously always ask the principals, don't give us that this was this resource person, it started at so much time, they spoke about this. I said, that we already know. Give us a critical evaluation of the workshop. Tell us how we can do our next workshops in a better way. So So thanking you, Sapna ma'am. Thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll be seeing Sapna ma'am again and again here in this platform.
I would
And
look
teachers,
forward to, sir. I'll because you're giving me so many ideas. Like Premchand, I remember I discussed. I've done Eidgah, and ever since I've spoken with you, I've started reading
we've
more of
got
Premchand.
Shakespeare, we've got Shakespeare from The Merchant of Venice, and we've also got Bernard Shaw dealing with the Pygmalion story on Mr. Doolittle, where the Hindi film, of course, Mahmood was there in that Tina Moni film,
Sir,
Manpasan, where he talks about money. He talks about why the poor people are the actual people who help the money to rotate, because they don't hoard the money, they keep on circulating it.
right,
Such concepts are exactly because if you look at economics, this is what it talks about. You talk about need, want, and demand, desire. This is all that is going to come up here in our sessions here. And
right.
teachers, you're free to share things. You're free to. Most of the teachers are there in the WhatsApp group, the Jaipur History Festival group. We are happy to receive comments and directly from you also. And of course, you want to give something more valid. You want to take a little session with your principals. You can do that, and do give us your thoughts. And if you have something more to sort out, you can give us a personal call also. We can discuss with you how to go ahead. Just leave messages for us that, sir, we would like to talk. So we do talk to people. It's not that we don't talk. So otherwise, the festival will not happen. Festival happens only when so much of interaction takes place. So thanking everyone here, Sapna ma'am, all the principals who've been very cooperative of letting the teachers take part here. And teachers, I know their time is very precious. I'm sorry for wasting that 5 minute time of yours today, but I'll make sure that we start 10 minutes in advance earlier, like we did last time. And City Palace, MSNS, USIM to all the school teachers here present, all the schools, and of course, we are depending upon Class 24 for doing all this technical help for us. So thank you, Ankit, for that, because we couldn't do all this. I can't manage all this, right? So thank you so much, and have a nice day, and see you very soon next Wednesday. The recording will be there, will be shared at all places possible. So don't worry. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Bye bye.